Lord Cash, I always love that intro.
It is pretty catchy, doesn't it? It's got a nice little ring to it, nice little bass.
Absolutely, and nothing says dropping the bass like you and I.
True story, man.
Well, everybody, welcome to the Slam Nation. Yo, all that Pat and Lord Cash and the Hizzy. Oh, I think everybody's leaving. Oh man,
yeah, I guess oh man, bye. Come back. We'll stop. We promise.
All right. So thank you for joining us tonight. Whether you're joining us on Twitter, not Twitter, yeah, we have a video on Twitter now. Whether you're joining us on Twitch, YouTube Live, or Facebook, we really do appreciate it. Make sure to ring the bell, do the subscription, and all that stuff. But again, let's get rolling. Slam Nation is when we take a look at the world of professional wrestling. I would take a look at what happened on Smackdown and on Raw, and what's coming up in the upcoming week, which is about 59 minutes from now. Raw is going to be hitting the air. And counting. Yeah, and counting, exactly. If I keep rambling, we'll get up to 58.
Woo!
But again, Lord Cash, are you doing well today?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I've gotten all their stuff put together for us for tonight, and so it's going to be pretty interesting show tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. It was actually a pretty interesting week last week as we came off the high off the heels. Is that I saying that right? I don't know. We came hot off the heels of the annual 2021 Royal Rumble. Just as a throw out, like, did you enjoy the Royal Rumble this year?
I did. It was really cool. There wasn't a lot of matches, which there really never is, because again, you've got, now that they have the women's Royal Rumble as well as the men's, that's at least 2 hours worth, roughly, of your 3.5 hour pay-per-view. So you really don't need that many more matches outside of that. And in fact, I think they did the women's tag match on like the kickoff show.
Yeah, we had the new champions crowned when Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax recaptured the tag titles from Asuka and Charlotte Flair, finally freeing up Asuka to actually defend her belt. So that's a little aside right there, but I was okay with that tag title switch.
Yeah, it was it was nice to get, I would say, fresh faces again, but I don't know, it's just, I'm not all that happy with them as a tag team. I don't feel them as a good solid tag team. I feel they're more better used as a singles competitor. The way they interact with each other really isn't all that good as a tag team. You know, certain people, they are a tag team. They gel together. They work together. You know, when they're out there on the floor, they're arguing. They're kind of nitpicking at each other. They're kind of really competing against each other within the match itself. And it's just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of them as a tag team together. So, and when they were a tag team, they were really strictly only on Raw. I never saw them go to SmackDown. That's one thing I can say with Charlotte and Asuka. They did go to SmackDown at least once or twice. So
we'll just see where the women's tag titles go and all the other belts. I mean, we'll be talking tonight for sure about, you know, what happened this last week as far as with the men's Rumble winner and Edge and Bianca Belair, because those two definitely had their hiking shoes on. They packed the bag because they went to both shows, and in Edge case, he went to all three on NXT. So we'll be talking about like what they did and what we think they're going to do as they get closer to the WrestleMania pay-per-view in 2 months.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly who they do decide to challenge, and we'll see. Do you have any? I know we'll talk about this later, but just to kind of put it back in your noggin as to which one you think they're going to challenge for. So
Belair Banks, and we'll talk about it again too. But Belair Banks, Edge, McIntyre. That's my thoughts.
Okay, interesting. Well, we'll definitely see how it all works out. So, but you ready to dive into SmackDown?
Absolutely. That's it. Friday Night Delight, SmackDown.
All righty. Well, our first match that we're going to talk about seems like kind of a tried and true. They keep going back to the well on this one, but it's King Corbin going up against Dominik Mysterio. This time we did have Rey Mysterio coming out with Dominik, and so what were your kind of thoughts on this match?
I mean, even though I was joking a second, it looks like a best 7 series. There's no getting around it. Corbin and Mysterio Jr. have really good chemistry. Every match they've had is actually quite enjoyable. It's different, and it tells a good story. I can't honestly say that about most of Baron Corbin or King Corbin's matches. I just have never felt a chemistry for anybody with him, but it works for these two. So, in this week, the Mysterios cheated, which was a nice like thing. Second time they've done that against him. Actually, did a couple weeks ago too. But it was a good storytelling opportunity. It made sense within the narrative. I'm still hoping that ultimately they're going to move away from this by the time WrestleMania comes. I'm still crossing my fingers, holding out hope that we have a Rey Mysterio retirement match against his son. We passes the mask, but maybe I'm dreaming here. But either way, this match right here, I thought was fine.
You really think that's gonna happen? The retirement match?
I do. Like, again, this is me fantasy booking, right? I don't think it's real, but I think it'd be really cool. Look at Dominik's outfit. It screams for a mask. It's just so colorful with the logos all over it. It's a full body. Telling you, that Dominik Mysterio is going to take Rey's mask in a polite way. He's not going to like turn heel. It's going to be like a respectful passing of the torch. Because how long can Rey go? He's outliving his wrestling career in a wonderful way, but at some point he has got to move forward. And why not give it to his own son? I mean, Rey Mysterio himself got his name and mask from his uncle, the original Rey Mysterio.
Right.
So, the whole lineage. So I know we're going off on a tangent, which is what I'm good at doing. But Corbin and Mysterio have good chemistry.
Yep.
And this I don't know, that's my fantasy booking.
Okay. I can I necessarily can't say that I would see that happening, but you never know. You just never know.
Do you think that they're like, I mean, again, we have a lot of talk about, but do you ultimately see the Mysterios doing something? What might that be, or is it too early?
I think it's still a little bit early, but I do say that Dominik Mysterio has come out and shown a lot of skills. I know when he was doing his feud with Seth Rollins that I was really impressed with him. I don't know how much of that was credited to Seth Rollins. And how much is being credited to King Corbin, but I've been very impressed with the young stature of Dominik Mysterio and exactly what he's been able to do in the ring so far. Again, he's I guess this would be considered a second generation. I know you mentioned uncle for Rey Mysterio, but this is definitely a lineage of wrestling in his blood. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I don't know if he's ever going to don the mask. I know Rey Mysterio did a little brief period at the time where he wrestled without his mask over in WCW, if I'm not mistaken.
But the WWE doesn't acknowledge that for the most part. But yeah, he did for about a year or two.
So I'm like, you've already been. If I felt that they were going to have him wear a mask, he would have came into the WWE wearing a mask. And not kind of adopt it, unless it's because again, you're gonna have that luchador, mystique behind it, where you can't show your face. You've already seen him, so it would be a nice like homage if maybe it's more of a kind of maybe a half mask versus the whole mask or something. I don't know. We'll just kind of see how that plays out.
Exactly.
So
I should put it on my bulletin, on a little bulletin board.
Possible theories by AllThatPat. All righty. Well, again, another match that they've kind of gone to the well for, dealing with Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. This one was a really good match. It definitely, even though Cesaro won the match and Daniel Bryan lost yet again, there was the respect at the end that Cesaro gave Daniel Bryan. I thought was really good. I've always been a fan of Daniel Bryan. He's an excellent technical wrestler, gives out there, and pretty much whatever match he's in, he's always doing phenomenal. And Cesaro and him they just go at it. Like there's nothing that they can't do it.
yeah, I could watch this match every day of the week, twice on Sunday. It's like we're seeing a couple repeat matches, as you alluded to, and it helps build chemistry in the match. But this was such a good match. A second ago, you saw like that backbreaker thing that Cesaro did. I mean, what a tremendous show of strength, because he basically caught him out of the air and brought him down into that and then flipped him into the sharpshooter. Daniel Bryan could lose to Hornswoggle. He could lose to Bad Bunny, lose to The Miz. Doesn't matter. That man is made. His legacy is intact, so he's using that legacy to put over a guy that's never broken the glass ceiling in Cesaro. I think it's a great look. Tapping out clean to the sharpshooter. Now that move is finally established. Cesaro's been doing it for almost a decade now. Now it finally looks like he might win. That's all you guys need as wrestling, is you just need to actually have somebody get beat by it once. That's why Umaga back in the day, again, tangent, I'll make it quick, but when he pinned Ric Flair with it, that move was made. Now, I mean, you beat the 16-time world champion, everybody's going to be fearing that.
Right.
Now, sharpshooter in Cesaro's playbook with everything else, I think Cesaro's got nothing but heights in front of him. I wouldn't be surprised if we see both of those guys in the upcoming Elimination Chamber, which I've talked nothing about, but it's coming up in 2 weeks.
Right. Well, I'll kind of allude to it now, but if you are not watching Talking Smack and Raw Talk on the WD Network, you need to watch it. It's like a 15-20-minute segment, and usually R-Truth is one of the co-hosts on Raw, I believe, and then you've got Paul Heyman over on SmackDown with the respective female host that they have, and it is just it just adds a little more flavor to what's going on, kind of a behind the scenes, where it's still within kayfabe as far as everything that's going on, but it's a little bit of a breaking of the mold a little bit, where you've got these people coming out and they're talking about certain things that you're not going to hear about in the ring, but yet they're still in character. And like they had a segment where Bianca Belair came out and Paul Heyman was talking to her and basically just swooning over her, saying like how great she is, that she is the BEST in WWE right now, and that she's going to go far. Whichever person that she actually decides to go and claim, she's going to win that title and she is going to be great. So it's just really fantastic. Those two little segments. And
they did that with Biggie and Apollo back in January and December, respectfully. You're right, Lord Cash. That's what people need to do, is watch those things. And I know that it's a long week, but I wish they'd just insert those little things on Raw, particularly. Because really small segments. Like, I mean, they should be able to like cut the highlight reel or whatever the John Morrison and Miz show is. The heck is that called? Miz TV. Just cut cut those things in there. But
right. Yeah, it's just really good. And they just it's so good to see those things, and the passion that goes in behind some of what they're talking about. And I'm actually trying to remember what you said that made me go down this rabbit hole. It's, if you're, like I said, if you're not watching those, I definitely would recommend you watching them, because they do, like I said, they add a little extra flavor to what's going on in the WWE and with Raw and SmackDown.
And you're guaranteed that R-Truth is going to lose and win the title belt back in one of those shows every week.
Very, very true.
49 right now, guys. We're going to talk about that later in the episode. Truth is now a 49 champion. So 50, what's that going to look like?
Ooh. All righty. Well, our next match that we're going to talk about is dealing with Ruby Riot and Bayley. So they had a interesting match. Of course, this has the added caveat of having Liv Morgan as well as Billie Kay out there as the pseudo member of the Riot Squad. So at a moment we're going to see here just a little bit, Billie Kay kind of runs in and tries to help out Ruby Riot, but to no avail. Ruby does get pinned by Bayley and kind of messes things up. So I'm trying to figure out what they're exactly going to do with her. It's interesting to see what they are doing with her, but what are they going to do with her?
So the match was actually really good. I've never been a Ruby Riot fan, but the chemistry, there's that word again, chemistry with Bayley was strong. They didn't botch any moves. It was nice back and forth. I mean, there were moments where it felt like Ruby Riot was actually going to upset the role model. Didn't happen. You knew it wouldn't, especially when Santina with 2 X chromosomes came out. With her little autographed headshots. But yeah, I'm loving that, and I'm wondering exactly what you said. Like, are they going to go with Billy and Bayley now? The one thing I hope they don't do, Lord Cash, is a frustration from her and she turns heel, but like hardcore heel. Like, I just hope they don't go down that route. But I don't know. Like, as long as they don't make her some kind of fluke winner, like as long as they don't make her as pathetic as Lana.
Okay.
Because the Lana character was terrible. They botched that completely. And again, I'll just stop there because otherwise I can go on another tangent. But yeah, I like it. I could see Billie Kay win the 24/7 belt as well because it's just ludicrous. She's a character that can pull it off.
Surprisingly, I can see that happening, and definitely so she can add it to her resume, her headshot.
Yeah,
that would be a 24/7 champion.
But I definitely think I feel like there's something they don't have written out. They don't have they don't have like super foresight in how they were planning her out. It's not like they're building some WrestleMania moment where she wins the title. But I do think that she does well with the role, and I think she's going to continue to do well with the role. And we did see an Iconics reunion briefly at the Royal Rumble with her.
We did, and it was iconic.
Iconic. Yep.
So, all right. Well, we'll see how everything plays out with that one, and we'll just kind of. Yeah, just see what happens.
And so far, if you're keeping track at home, everybody 3-0 for these SmackDown matches this week. So far, so good with these matches. And I can only imagine how many fingers I just put up because I'm pretty sure it wasn't 3. But
all right, well, let's go ahead and jump over to one of the segments that they had as we talked about our Royal Rumble winner for the women was, of course, the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. So she kind of came out and they were trying to figure out who exactly she was going to challenge for the women's title. And of course, she was over the moon, excited about winning and everything. They even showed a little clip of what it was for her mom and dad to kind of see her win. But of course, Carmella and Reginald came out, her sommelier, and kind of had a little back and forth going there. And then, of course, Sasha Banks, the current SmackDown champion, came out to put in her 2 cents. So now we're talking, you said that that Bayley is going to challenge Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I think Belair is going to go with Sasha Banks. Because I don't know, like I think that they're having more interaction. I mean, she did have a talk with Asuka as well. I just think that these two are going to have really good chemistry. Just their styles in the ring. I don't know. I'll be honest with you, that's what I want to see the most. I'm not expecting. Oh my God, what's the women's champion that's on the screen from NXT?
I can't remember right now.
It's a Genius of the Sky. I know that it'll come to me in the middle of the night, and I'll call you and say, "Hey." But no, I just think that's the most intriguing match, at least for me as a fan. I'm loving the chemistry. I love that. Bianca Belair sounds super genuine, and I think she is. She comes across as very likable. Reginald's the man. I just love his shtick. He takes it for everybody.
He's talented. He is very talented.
Absolutely. And the highlight of the whole segment, Lord Cash, I don't know if you've ever seen it before. She did the hair whip.
Yep. She whips them with it.
Oh, I loved it. I was waiting for that for so long. And like, just that.
So her name is Io Shirai, or if I'm probably butchering the last name.
Io Shirai.
I know I'm butchering it here. But those that are watching, who do you think that Bianca Belair is actually going to challenge for? Do you think it's going to be for the NXT title, the SmackDown title, or the Raw Women's title? Go ahead and leave us that comment and figure out, if you're voting for any of those. And if you submit it in, we might throw it up on the screen.
Absolutely. And if you're right, we'll give you $1 million. Nuts. No. Asterisk right there.
Like I say, Monopoly money, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, Monopoly bucks. I don't think I even put that together. I got to find my board games.
All righty. Well, yeah, I'm trying to think of who I would think that she would challenge for. I think she's going to stay brand loyal and go against Sasha Banks. Just because I think Sasha she's in that in between where she is a heel but kind of face. Like depending on who she's going up against will determine how she kind of flips.
Right.
So I know with her going up against Bayley, she was definitely that face character. But I get a little bit going kind of against Carmella. She's a little bit of that face again. But I feel like she can easily slip back into that heel by going up against Bianca Belair.
Exactly. And I think another way to kind of figure it out in addition to that is like, so if she doesn't go against Banks, who would go against Banks? Carmella again? Whereas I feel like Asuka has a couple contenders, which unfortunately Charlotte Flair is one of them for another rematch.
Right.
But it could be Rhea Ripley, easy for me to say, who's going to be going on to that brand from what I understand. So I think it's just automatic in that sense where like it just fits, like two puzzle pieces.
Yeah, I do feel like it's going to be Sasha Banks. So we'll just have to see in the future who she decides.
Could be R-Truth. She could go for that belt.
Yeah, it's a possibility. We'll just have to see. All righty. Our next match is Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode going up against Otis and Chad Gable, the Alpha Males. What are your thoughts on these guys?
I think they're great. I love Alpha Academy. Big fan of Otis. Big fan of Chad Gable. I think I mentioned it last week. I think it's curious that they broke up a tag team with Otis to put him back into one. But realistically, they did give him a solid run as a singles. I think the big man's losing weight. I know that there was rumors about him having to do that in general, but he's looking smaller, which I don't think he'll ever look totally small. But it could be his gear, too. He doesn't have the big belly hanging out. But that's not what you asked me for. I think that, they I love me some Otis. Anyway, I do think that they, again, I try not to use the CH word. They have good collaboration. They worked well together. It was a short match. I'd like to see these two tag teams get into a feud together. I'm not looking for the Street Profits to get right back in the tag title hunt, which I'm sure they're going to. But I think it would be cool just to let these two teams go back and forth a little bit. Maybe next week have them lose in a non-title and put these guys against each other at the Chamber. I don't know, but Roode and Ziggler have some great tag team ability together. I think, what are they called now? Like the Rebel Dogs or the Hound Dogs or something like that, or Dirty Dogs.
That I haven't heard.
Yeah, if you look at their tights, they both have something with the dogs on their butts, basically. Got to keep staring at the butts, Lord Cash. That's how you learn. You say to watch those extra shows, Lord Cash, like Main Event and Talking Smack. No, the real information is on the back of their butts. Quote it.
Yeah, Bum TV.
Bum TV. I'm all over the place tonight, so that's my honest tangent of the day.
Fantastic. Well, the match was good. I like Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode as a tag team. They do work well together. I've been a fan of Otis. Definitely enjoyed him and his comedic stick that he's got going on. When he busts out the caterpillar, it's always a good time. It's always a good show. So that in itself is pretty nice to see. But and Chad Gable, I don't know. He's a great technical wrestler and I enjoy him. I just don't know if he's well paired with Otis, and I don't know if that's just to kind of help build each other up to get them where they need to be, but it's different, so I'm okay with it. And of course, when you have like Daniel Bryan, who was mixed in there a little bit, kind of at least had like a triple. You can kind of exactly. You at least had a variations of pairs. Whether it was Daniel Bryan with Chad Gable or Daniel Bryan with Otis or whatever combination, you at least had variety. So that was all. That's what I liked about having a triple stable like that.
Right, and maybe they'll go back to it, once Daniel Bryan's done with this program with Cesaro too.
Right. So we'll just have to kind of play it by ear and just. I know it's always the thing is just see what happens, but that's kind of what we're in. All righty. Well, we have speaking of triple stables, we do have a triple threat title match on our hands next, and that is Apollo Crews, Sami Zayn going up against the IC title champion Big E. This match was really good. I enjoy all three of these competitors. They always bring their A game when doing this. As much as Sami is annoying, he's a great competitor, entertainer. So and Big E, I love Big E. So I'm glad that at the end of the match, and look at the height on that, man. It's like he just gets it up there, and this was insane on everything that they do. So Big E did retain his title, so that was a nice little thing that he's going to keep it. And one of the things I did learn from watching Talking Smack is if you look in the picture here, he finally does have his belt plates. So for a while he's had the Sami Zayn ones, and even on his picture on the WWE.com, it's the belt with Sami Zayn's plates on it. So now he's officially got his own. So that's cool. Big E has arrived. He's here. What was your thoughts on the match?
It was rock solid. They again, it's gonna say chemistry. If you ever merchandise, it's gonna say chemistry right there. They work together really well. I mean, all three of them have been interchanged for the past month and a half. And what I liked about this match more than anything else is that even though it was technically predictable the Big E was going to win, I didn't really feel that though as I was watching it, because there's like so many moments I'm like, Apollo's going to get it here, or Sammy's going to get it. So I actually, that made it more enjoyable, is not knowing officially who's going to win, because there were some damn near close calls. Like Sami Zayn hit the haluva kick on Big E in the corner at one point, and I'm like, oh damn, this is over. He's going to win it. I do hope, by the way, that they actually do make a WWE Network special that is Sami Zayn's documentary that he's been filming, and it's completely ridiculous stuff. I would love that.
Just like a 20, 30 minute, whatever, just bits of him just complaining, and just have all these shots of him actually, handcuffed to the ring and, all this stuff, the shots of them catching, during all these matches. That would be kind of cool, where it would be like a 30, 45 minutes, little mockumentary series.
Exactly. That would be great. But bottom line, that match was great. And curious to see where Big E goes from here. Surprised that he didn't have nameplates for a month. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Again, he when he was talking, he dropped the title on the table. He's like, and I finally got the nameplates, so those were pretty cool. And it's nothing fancy, it's Big E.
Yeah,
it's his name, so it's nothing like they like Brock Lesnar, where you've got actually the Beast logo, whatever, or anything like that. So it's his name, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of Talking Smack and Paul Heyman, we're going to go ahead and jump into our last segment from Smackdown. And this was kind of a twofold, where it starts off with Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Paul Heyman's coming out to the ring at the beginning of the show. And basically, Roman was calling out Edge, the winner of the Royal Rumble, saying, if you're going to challenge me, come on out now. But unfortunately, he was not there. So that really, really pissed him off. But later in the evening, he did show up. He came on out to the ring and did his moment where, he starts talking about, WrestleMania and winning that moment and what it meant to him. And it was really cool. But then, of course, Roman Reigns comes on out, to pretty much basically say what's it going to be. But again, we get a little surprise guest appearance by Kevin Owens. And so we never find out who Edge is going to select. I think that's the kind of the running thing is we're not telling anybody yet.
Well, they got 2 pay-per-views to get through before they even get there. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these, thank you guys. I wouldn't be shocked if one of these Royal Rumble stipulations get put up in a match. I mean, they're not going to drop it, but they've done that before where it's like, I don't know, just in general, we don't know, where they're going to go between now, Elimination Chamber, Fastlane, and Mania itself. It's interesting too. Kevin Owens' show never ends. He keeps attacking Roman Reigns, and it's just like it's one of those things. I predicted on the last show that Owens was finally going to win the belt. He didn't. He got screwed over and won.
The ref stopped counting.
That was a goof.
When Paul Heyman couldn't get the handcuff off, I was like, "Dang it, Roman's gonna win." Because whether or not it was if Kevin Owens was going to win, they would have let him. Like even if it wasn't what was called for the match, it still would have worked in the favor. And but as soon as I saw it, I'm like, "Dang it, Roman's going to keep the belt," and that just made me angry.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if they're going to do like a triple threat at some point. I mean, or an Elimination Chamber match. I don't know. I don't want Owens to fight him again, even though those matches are top notch. It's just move on. If Roman Reigns wields all this power, supposedly,
right?
And but yeah, like you said, the main event was pretty anticlimactic. It was cool, but you didn't get the call from Edge. He didn't actually share what hype in all episode.
Which again, the same thing with Bianca. Same thing goes for Edge. WrestleMania is not until April 10th / 11, depending on which night they are going to perform. You've got a little over 2 months. There's 2 more pay-per-views, as you said. You've got on February 21st, we've got Elimination Chamber, and then of course March 21st, you've got Fastlane. So you've still got 2 pay-per-views in between WrestleMania. Yes, I understand you want to hype up WrestleMania, but it's not necessary. It's not even if that was one of the things that they're talking about is Paul Heyman saying that Adam Pearce needs to get Edge to name it so that way they can start advertising for Fastlane. It doesn't matter who he picks because even if he selects Roman Reigns may not be the champion come Fastlane, come Elimination Chamber. It doesn't matter. It's you're going to either challenge for the WWE title or the Universal title. That's basically the bottom line. Or if he wants to go after Finn Balor off of NXT.
Right. And that's just it too. It's like, we don't know who the other champions are going to be. Elimination Chamber, I'm assuming there'll be a men's and a women's, and whoever wins that will also be challenging. So I could see them going into the month of March with 2 number 1 contenders for each division, and neither one of them really knows who they're fighting.
Right. Well, and I think that whoever is going to and I guess maybe that's what it is. Whichever brand is not getting the Edge does not choose, then so say he goes for Roman Reigns, then the Elimination Chamber is going to be for Raw to establish the number 1 contender for Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania and vice versa. Yeah. So that's the only thing that you're really waiting on, but we'll see.
But good episode of SmackDown. We'll see what goes on in the next week. I mean, I'm assuming we're not going to see Edge again, so they're going to have to go back into the main event picture over there and determine if it's going to be Kevin Owens yet again as a placeholder or somebody else. I mean, hopefully it's somebody else, but we shall see.
Yeah, but go if you have a prediction of who Edge is going to select for his WrestleMania match, definitely leave your comments in here, and we'll see what we're gonna we'll see what happens. And thanks for the background comment. I like that. Alrighty. Well, Slam Nation is not the only show we do, All That Pat. Are you aware of this?
I've heard the rumblings and the rumors. Somewhere in the wind, it blows through my ears. Yes, on the New York Nerd Show Network, we do a lot of different shows that we have here. We're always looking to do new ones as well. So if even as the fans out there, if you guys have any suggestions on show types you'd like to see, always let us know. And if you like, subscribe, and do all those things like ring the bell, whether you're watching us on Twitch, whether you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook, you can kind of communicate with us and you find out when these other shows are airing. Some of them do have solid dates. Like I Stream, You Stream is every Thursday at 8 p.m. Where we talk about a series that's on one of the streaming services. Right now, Lord Cash and Bitter Ritz and myself are really digging deep and doing some Easter egg dives on each week of WandaVision on Disney+. We take a look at the episode previously and look at ahead to the next episode. They'll be the following Friday. Well, next day, basically. If you guys have not seen that before, I do really want to suggest it, not because I'm on it, but because Lord Cash, who is really the host of that one, he does a fantastic job of just finding all these Easter eggs and all this research. It's crazy. It's like going to Marvel school. Really suggest that every week. And check out our old episodes, too. Even if you already watched WandaVision, it's worth checking out our old episodes. We also, Bitter Ritz and I have dinner. We got to eat. And we do reviews of the different food delivery services like Every Plate, HelloFresh, and Blue Apron. Those kind of pop up sporadically. So you want to definitely get our subscription and our notifications to find out that. We do have a good time with that. We do play a video game at least once a week, typically on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. We were doing 2K18 in Battlegrounds, kind of like a little Royal Rumble gimmick or just kind of a how-to. I've also been playing Cobra Kai lately, the Karate Kid game. I'm actually looking at my other screen, and I'm about to beat it for the first time, but maybe I'll save it for tomorrow at 8 p.m. Check it out. And our newest show coming up very shortly is Funko Royalty, where Lord Cash explores the world of Funko Pops. The man has 7,000 Funko Pops. I might be off by a couple numbers, but I don't think I'm off by much. He is the foregone expert on Funko Pops, and he's going to unbox some of them, talk about exclusives, and just a lot of cool things. The man's got, he's got a lot of Funko Pops for sure. So those are some of the episodes and some of the shows we have going on the New York Nerd Show Network.
Excellent. So those are where you can kind of check us out. So definitely like and subscribe us over at the New York Nerd Show. Definitely check us out on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. Definitely check us out there and like and subscribe us so that way whenever we do have those pop-up videos, you'll be able to check us out and watch us there. So now it's time to go ahead and switch over to Monday Night Raw. Which is going to air in about 22 minutes. Not that we're counting down by any means. But before we jump into that, we kind of allude a little bit to R-Truth. He is now again the new 24/7 champion. Now you're saying, well, wasn't he always the 24/7 champion? Technically, yes. However, if you were watching the Royal Rumble, you know that he lost it to Peter Rosenberg from the Michael K show. They were doing the pre-show area, and he lost it there. However, he won it back on February 1st. He actually snuck in on the Michael K show, and where he was like in his hotel room, and ended up taking it back from him. So there was that. But then this past Saturday, they had the celebrity flag football, the celebrity sweat down in St. Petersburg area, I believe. And they had a pinning by the one, Doug Flutie. So he is a NFL, CFL, and USFL quarterback. So he is one of the celebrity people that were playing. I guess he's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. Pinned R-Truth. What was that?
He played for the Buffalo Bills as well in the NFL.
So definitely he's going to be now up there with Gronk, with Dave Arquette, all these title people that are going to be famous now. So, but unfortunately, during the match later on, R-Truth was able to roll Doug Flutie up for the 1, 2, 3 and regain back his 24/7 title, his baby. So now I believe if the numbers are correct, if he's correct, this is now the 49th reign of R-Truth. So we're going to see who he loses it to gain it back for the big L. I'm talking about 50 in Roman numerals.
I got my prediction, Lord Cash.
Go for it.
I think that he should. I think that Vince McMahon himself should take it off of him and then let it marinate for a little bit. Let it marinate. Let it marinate.
You're not going to want to take it back from Vince McMahon.
Well, I think somehow he's got to. And then at WrestleMania, R-Truth gets the big 50 by beating the chairman himself. Just putting it out there.
Hey, you know what? That is a excellent prediction as any out there. Definitely, it's gonna. The only person that like as high up there is if Hulk Hogan himself won the 24/7 title. You know, that would be the only person that would be even remotely. Because again, you've got all these celebrities that have come in and taken it. Why not Vince McMahon? You know, when it takes it from like you know, and like you said, just let it go away for a while. Because again, Vince doesn't show up on, you know, to the matches that often to their you know Thunderdome. So we'll see. We'll see. It's like I like that prediction. I would not be upset if that happened.
In other words, Lord Cash, he's going to lose it and win it back from Akira Tozawa on main event.
No.
Hopefully they don't drop the ball on what could be like a pretty fun moment.
No. But I'm just going to throw this out there since they are champions themselves. If you were, you know, hiding under a rock last night, there was a kind of a big game, the WrestleMania of football. See what I did there? We had the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And since that is where the home of WrestleMania is going to be this year, they definitely threw out the title to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were Super Bowl champions for Super Bowl 45. So that was pretty cool that happened there. And they always do this every year. Triple H sends the title to whoever the winner was. Normally it's the, you know, the Patriots, but this year it's still Tom Brady, but just now on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Exactly. And, you know, they're going to be in that exact same stadium in about, what is it, like 2 months, basically, 2 days. So, yeah, it always gives them, you know, goodwill towards other, you know, leagues and industries by doing those kind of things.
Yeah. So when like NBA, they always do it for that. So it's always a good time.
Right.
All righty. Well, let's go ahead and officially jump into Raw. This was a week ago Raw. So this was the night after Royal Rumble. So, of course, we start off with the winner of Royal Rumble, the men's match. You had Edge showing up there. Pardon?
Deja vu.
I know they always show up. But of course, you had Drew McIntyre come out congratulating Edge on his win. But of course, Edge was like, "Dude, what is wrong with you? I could challenge you for your title, and I would take it from you. Why are you being nice to me?" Which I don't know. I understand where Edge is coming from, but it's a little bit of a respect. You know, he is a Hall of Famer, but. You know, and of course, then things turn bad. You know, Sheamus does, which you've been calling this for weeks, that Sheamus is going to turn on him. So how did you feel when you actually saw this turn that you've pretty much been predicting for a while?
I was satisfied with it. So here's the only thing. I really wish they would have, again, let it marinate and let this turn happen in March, and then you would have had your actual main event right there for WrestleMania. These two one-on-one,
right.
we still might get it, but I think that it would have been more shocking and interesting if they did it then, and then Edge would have gone with Roman at that point. But no, I thought it was great. It was expected. I was almost getting to a point in like, because like they were doing that tweener role with Sheamus, where he was still a heel, just not against his buddy McIntyre. So
yeah,
I'm sure if you go back, there's a lot of plot holes as to like, you know, why he didn't do it sooner. But still, I think it's good. I mean, it's feasible that Sheamus takes the belt off him before WrestleMania,
Never
know, but I don't think he will. But I think you can see a nice program between these two. Either way.
Yeah, again, as you've called it, I kind of like, yeah, this is going to happen. I foresaw it as well. And as soon as the way the camera angles were, I'm like, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. Sure enough, Drew turns around, boom, bro kick to the face. Again, as you said, it would have been nice if it would have been closer to WrestleMania. Kind of had them do some tag matches for that Fastlane or Elimination Chamber, and then possibly the last pay-per-view have Sheamus cost Drew McIntyre the match, whether it be by disqualification or whatever, and then that sets up the WrestleMania match. But I like to see where it's going, and it should be pretty good. Tonight, Drew McIntyre is going to confront Sheamus, so we're going to see exactly what all that pertains to. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, our next one, we had the Intercontinental title up for grabs. I'm sorry, the U.S. Title up for grabs with Bobby Lashley going up against Riddle. He's still banged up from all his previous matches and everything. This one did not go Riddle's way. He did win by disqualification, even though he then tapped out. Do you think Riddle's ever going to get the title off of Bobby Lashley?
We've talked about this before, Lord Cash, that this is the main difference between the two shows. First of all, both shows has repetitive matches that happen every week, but the story's better. Yeah, he will, and it won't be impressive simply because Riddle's been made to look like an idiot for months now, or at least a month. Like when he wins, it's like by a fluke, and he gets like chumped out most of the time. Yet somehow they're going to make it so Riddle beats him. I do think so. And I don't think that's good booking, but I'm not a booker. And obviously I respectfully understand that. But yeah, I mean, again, I do think he's going to beat him. And I just don't think it would be the right way to do it. But that's my thought.
Right. I'm wondering if it's going to be because of and I am now drawing a blank on his name. I'm going to look at my notes here for a second here. Cedric Alexander. I wonder if he's going to be out there as part of the Hurt Business, and he's going to distract the ref, and Riddle's going to get a cheap shot, or something's going to happen, and because of his interference, Riddle's going to win it, which is going to figure out something that's going to evolve with either them losing the tag team belts, because I think they're still the tag holders, right?
Yes, they are. Yeah. Yep.
Yes, because that's actually a match later on that they him and Shelton Benjamin. So I have a feeling they're gonna lose the titles, and then Bobby Lashley is going to lose the U.S. to Riddle, and I think a combination of those two, they're going to turn on Cedric.
Yeah, I could see that. I definitely don't want the Hurt Business to implode completely. I think they have a lot of legs on them. 8 to be exact. And there's just a lot of potential for this stable. But yeah, I think Cedric's time is coming up at some point. I think how you laid it out, Lord Cash, is it's pretty smart.
Yeah. So as soon as they lose the belts, then they can cut the dead weight. And they've already been sowing the seeds of his getting bigger than his britches, as Grandpa would say. So I do think that's going to happen. That's my prediction. So, alrighty. Well, our next match is going to be against Mustafa Ali versus Xavier Woods. They went to the well again for Retribution. However, this was a comment, and I'm bringing it back up because, again, it is quality content. And I love the New Day. We actually had Kofi Kingston back. He's not medically cleared, but he's out there. But we did have a win by Xavier Woods over Mustafa Ali. So now he is officially 2-2 against Retribution, which means on Raw Talk, he has officially challenged Reckoning for tonight.
Reckoning?
The woman?
The woman?
This is the rubber band match. Like you've got five people on your team. Let's go. You've got 2 and 2. So he's issued an open challenge on Raw Talk. If Reginald and Sasha Banks can have it over on SmackDown, why can't you have it on Raw?
No, absolutely. I mean, Xavier Woods and Mia Yim, who portrays Reckoning. Huh. But here's the thing. Let's say they actually do that, Lord Cash. Why is it that you, as in the audience, have to find out from us, who are telling you from a show that nobody watches as well? Like how is this not discussed? But again, there might have just been a throwaway comment from him. But
well, he was throwing it out there just as a moment. But again, the fact that it has happened on SmackDown with Sasha Banks, why couldn't it? The only difference is the woman challenged the man versus this time the man's challenging the woman. So, political correctness is probably not, in the man's favor. But I would imagine if this match did happen tonight or within the next coming weeks, they would show this would be WWE, exclusive content that they would show this little bit where he's just at the table, I challenge you, Reckoning. I challenge you. So
I'd be interested in it. And I'll be honest with you. I think that'd be a fun capper to this storyline. I don't like Retribution in general, but the Xavier Woods saga of it, I think this would be interesting if they went down that route. So who knows? Maybe they'll do that tonight.
Hey, who knows? Again, who knows? I think it's time to talk about the Miz TV show.
Lord Cash, you know how to make me happy. Retribution followed up by Miz TV.
Yep. Well, the good news is they had Bad Bunny.
Really, is the good news?
I'm stretching here. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to make it.
Good Bad Bunny.
I'm not the Bad Bunny demographic. But he did come out. He was the star, the guest star of Miz TV. However, fortunately for him, but unfortunately for the Miz, he did not come alone. So the person that I believe eliminated both Miz and Morrison from the Royal Rumble was that of Damian Priest. So he's now on the Raw roster. And so they got into a little scuffle, which led to a match between the two of them. So you had Damian Priest, who had a nice little viewing at the Royal Rumble, then came out and challenged The Miz. Have you followed much of Damian Priest over on NXT?
Yeah, I have actually, and I didn't like him at first. A couple years ago when he debuted, I even got to see him live at a house show in Albany. However, I would say over the past 6 months to a year, he really grew on me. He was a North American champion. He feuded with Johnny Gargano over there, and he really started to grow. And so far, on the main roster, 2 nights he's had, it's good. And I think the Bad Bunny rub is actually going to work for him. Because, like you said, Lord Cash, I mean, me and a bunch of my friends were like, who the heck is this guy? I don't enjoy his music. I just don't. And it's not because I'm not open to different types of music. It's just I went on YouTube and I watched 2 of his videos. One of them had some interesting scenery. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But again, this guy's got millions of viewers on there, so clearly he has a demo. And so it's going to be good business for them as he comes into the company. I'm pretty confident he's going to be in here for a little while because they wouldn't have him on 2 shows. And yeah, from what I understand, the rumor mill is that he's going to be tagging with Damian Priest in a program against Miz and John Morrison. That's the rumor and innuendo. I have no idea if that's correct, but at least Raw left off with me thinking that is the direction they're going. So it kind of gave credence and validity to the rumors I've been seeing online.
Oh, well, if that is that's what's going to happen. So as you said, we don't book the shows; we just watch and talk about it.
Can I just say real quick? Did you catch R-Truth though on the pre-show for Royal Rumble? Did you see what R-Truth was dressed up like Elmer Fudd?
No, I didn't. I missed that.
Yeah, everybody go check that out. he basically comes out to the little like the pre-show commentaries area, and he's wearing like a flannel shirt and a big hunting cap, and he's looking around, and like I think Lawler's one that noticed it, and he's like, and Archer's like, I'm looking for that Bad Bunny. I think he knows Bugs Bunny, and he's like just going off on how he's trying to find him, and I'm like, it was pretty sweet, it was pretty good.
That's great. I love when they do stuff like that.
So yeah,
all right.
So you have to see it to get that, but yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump into our next match. This was for the Raw Tag Team Champion titles. So you had Hurt Business of Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin going up against Luchador House Party. This one, I never really thought that Luchador House Party was gonna win. I don't know if you thought differently.
No, I think that it's just like you've been saying for a couple weeks now. They're not losing the titles until they have the actual turn or implosion of Cedric Alexander. So I think that, like you said, I think Lashley's going to lose his belt before they do. And then at that point, it's going to be like, all right, next time they defend the belts, they're gone. But yeah, the match was good. These guys have good, chemistry. They have good matches together. I want them to stop having matches together for a little bit.
Right.
But again, Raw is every week it's the same damn matches. But anyway, bottom line is, Lord Cash, my long rambling way to get to your answer. No, they never were a threat last night. Last Monday, whatever. And no. So they'll fight again tonight, I'm sure. Nothing's going to change.
All righty. Well, speaking of threats, we had a triple threat who decided who was going to go after the women's tag team match. So that was you had Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke going against Asuka and Charlotte Flair with Naomi and Lana. So this one basically kind of the three tag teams that have kind of been vibing for the tag titles over at Raw. They kind of at least had a triple threat with Naomi coming back at Royal Rumble. It was interesting to kind of see how everything played out. Again, because Charlotte Flair is involved, so is Lacey Evans with Ric Flair. And in fact, Charlotte just kind of walked out, which led to the win by Naomi and Lana. So even though you kind of alluded earlier that, Lana was kind of a pushover, she now has a shot at the tag titles against Nia and Shayna Baszler.
Well, again, if they push her and Naomi well, I'm all for this new tag team. It's just like I said, it wasn't indicative of Lana's ability as a performer or as a wrestler. It was just like they made her look like an absolute idiot.
Yeah,
with Nia Jax, and I thought that it was going to change, at the Survivor Series, but she was literally weeping and crying, standing on the steps, and was the sole survivor in that match. I mean, that is the stupidest. Again, I'm very positive, but I'm like, holy crap, that was like the dumbest thing I've ever saw. So they have to do retcon her character and fix it up, in my opinion. So
I definitely agree. There was some bad booking there that I don't think they were really certain how it was going to look when, on paper it's one thing, but then you actually catch it on camera. It just did not, elevate that well going from paper to screen. So, but with that, Charlotte is having a confrontation with Lacey Evans tonight. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. I'm sure it's not going to get resolved tonight. I'm sure it's going to move on to, Fastlane coming up. So,
they do need to pull the trigger on this one, though. It's been going a little too long at this point. They just need to have that one-on-one blow-off match.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Elimination Chamber's next, not Fastlane. That's my bad.
Oh, I thought you said Elimination Chamber, but yeah, either way, yeah, that one's in 2 weeks, I believe, on the 20th.
21st. So, well, then we had another tag match. This one was Elias and Jackson Riker versus Jeff Hardy and the returning Carlito from Royal Rumble. Was that?
He is jacked. Those apples he's been eating were not organic, Lord Cash.
But I think he looked really good coming back after, being on for a while. He definitely looked cool.
He did. Yeah, no, he was a great addition to this match. I'm excited to have him back. He pulled off the victory for his team. It's just Same thing, again, I want to be able to say no, but it's like, just let the musicians go their separate ways. Jeff Hardy doesn't need to be fighting them anymore.
Yeah.
Are they fighting again tonight? Have any idea?
Nothing has been announced. The only thing that's been announced tonight are those three where Sheamus is supposed to be going up against Drew McIntyre. There's the the match between Charlotte and Lacey Evans, and then I believe there's one more where and I'm trying to pull it up here real quick. Drew McIntyre is actually fighting Randy Orton tonight again. So. Don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, that's kind of like a placeholder. I mean, again, we might see some, interesting things from either Sheamus interfering or The Fiend or Alexa Bliss. Who knows? Again, we have a lot to talk about, obviously, at the 8 o'clock hour. But, that's one thing I wanted to mention to you, too, and ask you about was that the Rumble itself was no Fiend and Alexa Bliss getting dumped in 30 seconds in her match.
Right. Well, what's even weird is we have one more match of slides to go through. However, on WWE.com, they had no photos from the Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross match, which was really good, especially because Alexa Bliss has taken Sister Abigail and modified it as her own, and it looks devastating. It looks really, really good. So I was really surprised that there was no imagery for it. So literally after this match here, the only match I have left to talk about is Edge and Randy as their main event.
Right, and I wonder if they're going to do that match anyway this week, because if I'm not mistaken, on that women's match, didn't Alexa Bliss transform 3 times this time?
Yeah, because she was the goddess. Then she became then she was friends with Nikki Cross, and then she went back to the playground Alexa Bliss, and then she even went into the Fiend's Alexa Bliss. So.
I'll save it so we see the Orton match next, but she does something very weird that I just don't quite get.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and jump into that since we've been laying the groundwork for it. We had Edge going up against Randy Orton. Definitely, this has been something that's been going on since last year with Royal Rumble. So here you get that shot of Alexa Bliss leaving from her match as Randy's coming out. But yet there's no photos from it. I don't get that. So they go at it. It's not a very long match. Edge is doing his thing. Randy's, doing his thing. But then all of a sudden, you get Alexa Bliss sitting on the turnbuckle and starts oozing black, I don't know if it's blood or whatever, but it causes the distraction, and Edge spears Randy Orton for the 1, 2, 3. But again, that does lead up for tonight where Randy is going up against... What's that?
Yes, that leads up to him getting a title shot on Raw.
I don't know if it's actually for a title shot.
Okay.
But it very well could be. I'm looking to kind of see if it actually is, or if it's just a rematch. It looks like it's in a non-title action.
Showdown is how they put it. So you're right. I don't think it's for the belt.
No, it's not for the belt. So it's non-title. But I think Edge is going to kind of maybe take a break for I'm just wondering if actually he's going to make the announcement of who he's going to fight, or if he's going to kind of disappear for a week or two. But
I think he'll disappear. That's my thought on it, because since he's not mentioned at all, and he doesn't wrestle that often, I don't think. I think they'll use him sparingly, especially at his age, and he still is, I'm sure fragile to some degree. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm anticipating that, I've got a whole prediction about Edge at WrestleMania, but I think he's got a bucket list of things between now and April. I'm hoping that he teams with Christian once, but we'll see how that goes.
It would be so nice if we could just do that, because Christian came back for the Royal Rumble. They had their nice little, bro hug That was nice to see. They fared better than the reunion of Daniel Bryan and Kane.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy that. So it would be nice for, an Edge and Christian reunion. That would be great.
Yeah. And that was a great show, by the way, just in general, guys. Watch the Rumble. It was definitely, I thought it was a pretty good pay-per-view. And definitely watch Raw tonight. We already told you what's going on. Not much. So again, hopefully there'll be some interesting things and not just a bunch of rematches. Again, we try to be positive about it, but there are times when Raw is just painful. It's not interesting, but maybe that'll change on the road to WrestleMania. SmackDown, though, completely opposite. SmackDown's great.
Yeah, with everything gearing up with the road to WrestleMania, hopefully they'll pop it into high gear and we'll get some good stuff out of it.
High gear, and they'll go on to the fast lane.
You see what I'm doing there?
Oh yeah, I picked it up. You laid it down. I picked it up.
I'm good at the word association.
Everybody, it's funny because I'm a teacher, and because we're doing this Zoom, I almost called you All Stars. That's my students' nicknames. So I was like, all right, All Stars.
Yeah, I'm an All Star. Get your game on.
Nation fans, All Stars.
There you go.
In your homework. Guys, we do thank you for joining us. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit all those things, whether you're watching us on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook Live. Tomorrow, I think I actually am going to go ahead with our game night. Instead of doing 2K, I think I'm just going to go ahead and beat Cobra Kai. So if you want to see me beat Cobra Kai at 8 p.m., join me on there, and you'll take a look at that. Also, don't forget, at Thursdays at 8 p.m., you can join us for iStream, Ustream, where we're checking out WandaVision. Definitely look at our previous episodes from that, because Lord Cash does take you to school, tying that into me being a teacher. And also, you'll get some different updates about when Bitteritz and myself are opening up mail or showing up some pickups or having dinner. And then Lord Cash is going to be taking a look at some Funko Pops, joining him as his Funko royalty. It just kind of barfed out of my mouth for some reason.
All righty. Well, yeah, thanks for joining us, and definitely catch us next week. We'll be doing Slam Nation next Monday, and look forward to seeing you again.
Adios.